once he started going, it was perfect. Once you started going, it was perfect.
Yeah.
It's something about seeing your face on the camera and then you're like, oh. Okay, so this is basically what happened today.
This is my first time I've heard this.
Well, and even to backtrack to yesterday, I know Parker had multiple times asked for, we wrote that inspection repair addendum very cleanly. This is the kind of contractor we expect to do the work. We want it done by final walkthrough, and we want receipts and written verbiage stating that the work has been completed.
On the receipt.
We asked for that how many times?
Man, I mean, of course I can go through the email.
Let's
and
not
we
say
can-
names,
we can
let's
be-
not say address.
Of course I can go through the email and be nitpicky here, but I mean, I started the process of asking for receipts probably about 1 to 2 weeks after the inspection addendum was put in place.
I was gonna say, it was pretty quick. I remember getting you sending us and letting us know, because he was keeping us up to date. And it just, and at the end, he's like, I know you can probably tell it in my voice, it's frustrating when you don't get something after all this time that we've been working on this.
Right.
I mean, we understood every bit of it. I mean, we didn't.
Oh, thank you. Right, okay, so we came down to the wire, and even yesterday when Parker and I were trying to get we have the pictures, we have everything kind of written out here, like very clearly documented what we're asking for. And even as of last night when we went to bed, we had been promised a contractor name, we had been promised a phone number, didn't get it. And we had nothing. We had a receipt that said nails or whatever, but it didn't say any scope of work, and it said $0. So that was our receipt that we got. So we met at the house today. We had paid the inspector to come back to do a revisit to validate whether the work was done.
On short term,
On
available
short
right
term, that was
away.
great.
Really
And-
cool.
And
That was
Spence
good.
was there. And the first thing that the inspector said to me is, there's not been anything done here. And he pointed out, and we took video, we took specific, do you see the pop-up of where that roof was and where the line of the screws was? There's no revision.
Pictures on your
And the
chart right
pictures
there.
look exactly the same
Yeah.
as what's in this. We were able to call the HVAC guy, and we were gonna be able to solve that problem with an addendum that would survive closing, that the repair to the HVAC would still be complete, and it would still be the seller's responsibility to make that. So, great, we had that resolved, but the issue over the roof sheathing not being great, I mean, the inspector said, if you got wind coming up under a metal roof, it's just gonna tear that roof right off.
Right.
And the way that it was, we said there are several loose sections present on the metal roof. The metal roof covering over the front porch is not secured properly. Recommend securing properly to help prevent any wind damage. There's been no revision on that. And they could put a bunch of screws in there. It doesn't fix what the issue would have been. It would not have been properly secured. So, thank goodness Mike was able to call a professional roofer. We sent the same videos to the seller that we sent to the roofer. We were an hour before closing. We got finally the answer from the roofer with an estimated quote of $9,800 that he could use the materials, take them off, put the proper membrane in that would then keep the securement, it would be proper and to the specification for the material, is even what the roofer said. The scene at the closing was interesting. We were in a closing room just waiting. I had Jerry, the roofer, on the phone. He told me that. We hung up. The two sellers and the agent were in the hallway of the title company, and I said, Spencer, come on, I guess we're gonna do this in the hallway.
Oh my gosh.
They wouldn't even come into the room and sit down.
No, and so I said, okay, so do you want me to get I said, this is what the roofer said, $9,800, and the seller were like, we're not doing that. I was like, do you want me to get the roofer on the phone? Called Jerry, put him on speaker. He was in the middle of, I said his name, we'll have to bleep that out. He was in the middle of explaining why the underlayment of the membrane would have to be there in order to be the proper secured thing. And the tone of voice changed.
They were looking at each other, smiling like
They were
"Oh,
laughing
this
at me.
guy."
It's like,
Or like at the roofer
yeah, at
too.
the roofer guy.
And lots of pointing and lots of, it's,
Very childish, like smiling, like, can you believe this guy? Like it was like that.
I've
It
never
was really
witnessed anything
that.
like it. I
it
mean,
was wild. It
It's
was
I
still,
was
wild.
just
it
standing
still
there
might be
like-
a couple years until I ever see something like
I
that
was
again.
straight. He would keep looking at me, and I'm just straight faced looking at him like, what are you talking?
Your first closing.
Yes.
Well, it didn't close. So then,
Thank God for scheduled closing.
Thank
Say
God.
that.
so it got kind of bickery
Yes.
for no reason. And I did try to steer it back to like, this is a problem. We're trying to come to a resolution. Are you guys just telling us to F off? Because the two sellers walked out of the building. And I said, I can't believe I'm not getting this on video. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to get this on video. And then the other, my colleague basically said, you know, and he started walking out of the building too. And that's where we are. So the roofer was able to hear part of that on the phone.
Yeah, he called me before you did
I was saying,
and told me there's a big, they got a
they
big
just
old
said,
fight. They
they're
said they
having a
just
big
got a big old
old
fight.
argument.
He was all trying to stay calm and collected. It was like, you know, we can do that, you know? It's like, we do. And it's like, nothing really shakes us.
I
Sometimes we
wasn't,
do, but very rarely.
and I wasn't elevated.
Yeah.
No, not at
But
all.
he said good things about you. He's like, you are going to bat for us. You're
Oh.
like, took our back and everything.
Yeah.
Because if anybody, she's a good fighter, man. She's fighting for you. So, like,
And
yeah,
though, you
hearing
know,
it from him, I mean, it's good that.
And Parker, once again, he brought up the fact that we could have had a roofer sent over there to check it out.
Well, that's the first thing that was said.
That's part
Well,
of
that's
the
what I'm
addendum
saying.
that
If he
you
would have,
agreed to
if
do.
they would have done what was asked from them
Yeah.
in the beginning,
right,
we would have never had to go through any of this. We wouldn't have had to have another roofer,
right,
you know, even do anything and bother another person.
Right.
If they would have done what they, you know, it's either they pay for it themselves and do it themselves, or they pay someone we have.
right.
But none of them wanted to do anything.
And the other thing that's interesting, if you remember, I know I corroborate this with Spence, but remember how he said, the seller said, we did the repairs. Remember that?
Yeah, he didn't do
Well,
the repairs.
They didn't do the repairs. And I will say this, we didn't get a chance to tell you this, but in the time period after we left and we're continuing on, I got a text message that said, oh, well, we had another roofer look and they said they would do this for $800. And I'm like, wait a minute, you said you did the repairs.
Right,
but now you're
right.
saying
Now
you
yeah.
have somebody else saying that they'll do the repairs for $800. So it was very, very, I can't even call it
And
aggressive.
he was also downplaying the fact that a roofer looked at it on video. He said, oh, you had him look at it on a video? You didn't have him come out in person? Either way, you're gonna see the gaps that we clearly have described in the addendum.
I mean, maybe this happens again, but in like 5 to 10 years.
Crazy.
I mean, the professionals that I've gotten to work with throughout these transactions have been fantastic.
Professional.
Yeah.
Well, I even told him to let the roofer know that even when he sent that over, that he could even put on there, because it was a last minute, something we had to do. We
Yeah.
didn't really have a choice.
And let him know that
To
was
put
5
them
days
on
in,
there.
that he could go out there and look at it.
Yeah, that this is by just pictures, videos that was sent to him, because
So if it's hands-on, it's
he
probably
did not
gonna be a
have
lot
any
more.
time
Yeah.
to go out there and physically look at it to give an estimate. And
Right.
that's their fault, you know?
Right.
I mean, it should have been done. So therefore, he had no time to physically go and do anything before we were ready to close.
Right.
So to me, that's just considerably ridiculous from them to
Absolutely.
even say anything bad about a price or anything about the roof when they've had
Lots of
how much time to
Mhm.
get anything done.
Right.
And I told him the 2 different times that I had gone out there and took pictures, just because everything was, you know, oh, we did it, no, we didn't, you know. And I told him that the only thing that I noticed that I could remember that was being done was stuff that FHA required.
Mhm.
So they were basically doing anything and everything to get it done what FHA required, but not anything that we had requested that
Right.
they agreed to do.
Yeah.
And that was 2 different times, 2 weeks apart, that
Yeah.
that happened.
Yep.
So, I mean, they've had all the time in the world to do anything, and they did absolutely nothing, but said they did.
Right.
So, I mean,
Crazy.
And we were still even trying to actively come to a solution. I mean,
Yeah.
we had talked about like, well, what if the seller doesn't agree to cover the entire thing? They would cover part of it. That's what I thought we were going to be trying to
right,
negotiate
Yeah.
right,
to get to the actual table.
right.
Right, she
What
could have
they-
said yes or no, but they said they would.
Right. What was revelatory then by the sellers, we're out
Right.
of here, I think ultimately was the saving grace for you guys to be able to say, when we talked, then when they left and we're sitting there talking, like, do we want to even try to keep this together, or are you ready to move on? And it was my
Yeah.
professional recommendation
Yeah,
that no matter what at this point, the damaged good faith, I don't know how we could have had any good faith that the seller would have done. Anything
after
right.
that, right.
it
Crazy
wasn't
that that's
built
what their
right.
company is called too.
The
Good
builder-
Oh, it's that, we're
Oh,
not
I
saying
can't say
things,
that.
we're not
The
saying
builder
things.
said it
That is
wasn't,
crazy.
the roofer,
There's a
the
couple
builder,
things in there to-
you said it
Cut.
was supposed to be on, like, the studding and all that was not right, it had to be pulled off and redone.
Right.
But if just alone with the roof, I meant the electric, when I pulled it, the disconnect, all the guts fell out of the electric. It's like, just seeing that, I said, this house is hacked,
Mm.
like the whole house.
Well, it
Just
really
can't
does
see it.
stink because I really like the house, just the look. I wasn't looking at guts and everything else,
Yeah.
you know, for me. I really liked the house. I did like where it was at, and I was ready to go. But them basically arguing and acting like children, non-professional, to you at the closing, and that is what just, I knew that we was not going to be able to work with them after the fact, because I felt like they was going to have a vengeance against us, and then, you know, basically, screw you, we're not doing anything for you, you know, you just made us look like whatever. And I just felt like they wasn't gonna do anything after the fact,
Yeah.
after that closing, regardless of what they agreed to or not agreed to or signed. I don't think they was gonna do anything afterwards,
Yeah.
so.
And what I think is probably gonna happen is that if they do make any other, they're gonna try to find another buyer. We have submitted the request for release. Can you check email and see if we have that back? Because that really, buyer, that caveat emptor is a real thing, buyer
Mhm.
beware. So, you know, get your inspection, make sure we've done everything properly. Detail what it is you're asking for, and then you gotta follow up. You have to go through the motion. I'm really proud of you guys to have the cojones to just say, then no, then we can't do
Yeah.
this. Cause we're facing a lot of challenges on the other side of not having
Right.
the keys. You know,
And if it wasn't for you, honestly, knowing me, I mean, he usually says what, you know, what you want. I probably would have went on with it if you wouldn't have been the person there. I mean, he probably would have did the same thing. You know, I mean, he's great.
Yeah.
But if you wouldn't have been there, you know, since you were there today, if it wouldn't have been you there today and saying the things that you said, knowing me, I probably, you know,
Would've just
or if it
signed.
would have been any other realtor, no, you know, like
I
you
wouldn't
said,
have signed.
every realtor's not the same, and every realtor's not gonna be bold enough to say, you know, don't get this, you know.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Yeah.
Not only
Well,
hear it from you, but, and the builder,
Yeah, I mean,
with his knowledge, I'm like,
Yeah. Well, and it's somebody that
And
you
then
trust
the-
who had
yeah.
no skin in the game.
right.
no, and he was just the last minute gasper, you know, he just, like, I can't believe he answered or even did the work that he did with it, just picked up the phone and asked,
Yeah.
no notice.
So,
Yeah.
I feel like
goodness.
I
We
owe
do
that
not
guy,
have,
but I don't know.
we do not have the mutual release back.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
let's call and check on that.
Should I cut the camera?
No, I can cut it out,
Okay.
like I can. You guys.
What a day.
Mentally. It's mentally rough today.
This happens sometimes too, that then you don't get an answer.
Hey, you've reached. Sorry, Mr. Call. If you'd like, please leave a detailed message, or you can text me for a quicker response. Thanks and have a great day.
Call my number.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording,
I bet
you
he
may
thinks
hang
I
up
wanna-
or press 1 for more options.
It's about 5:30, checking on the status of the return of the mutual release for 5. You can reach me back at your convenience, 859-835-6553. My email back is sarah@yourfavoriterealtor.org. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I can take it upon myself to take this video and underwrite the video, for sure.
Oh, yeah, I'll
send it over to both of you.
zip.
Or maybe even that would be best done by you, Mom.
Yeah, I'll do it.
And I wanna, and to be completely transparent with, you guys, there's no way that we would have gone into this house with wasn't here and it was just me. That's why we did the diligence of getting to do that. And I know that I told you over the phone, Shannon, that if they didn't do these inspection requests, then we would have a big decision to make there. And with everything that, no matter what situation happened, she would have been there. That final walkthrough would have never been me, because last night was when I escalated this situation. I said, Mom, we need you here. We need you bad. And she came in and she dominated. I would consider, she did exactly what she needed to do, and she even tried to, we even tried to save it. But I would be lying to you to tell you if I didn't learn a lesson. Of all the lessons that I learned on this transaction, I needed to bring her in earlier. The second that I started getting the shady feeling from the listing agent here about when I started to not get receipts about a week ago,
Right.
instead of continuing to think that this guy was going to get this done for us,
Yeah.
now I've learned my very first ever lesson that listing agent was willing to go into the final walkthrough, but we received receipts saying that this stuff was done.
Well, it didn't say a scope of work. It said neoprene screws and something else. But
A shady receipt.
It was just a receipt.
Yeah.
that they
It was just
created
writing
for
up whatever they
themselves.
could to say they
homemade
said something.
receipt trying to fleece us.
Mhm.
Unbelievable. So
Watch your language, because we can't say that we can't say that they were lying. We can't say that they were
Right.
fleecing. We don't know whether they got up and screwed in anything. We don't know that, so
Right.
we're not.
You could say
saying
in front of
for-
us, we ain't repeating.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think they were shady as hell, to be quite honest. I mean, the way they've done from the get-go with him, I mean, he's called us and told us, hey, I tried to get in contact, I did this, and I mean, and that was forever ago.
I have no doubt about you doing well.
And yeah, I mean, I don't,
I got people calling me because you won't stop calling. That's what's good.
That's what I'm saying.
that's what I'm saying, like, we know that
You went
he's
to work
busting
for
his
me, man.
ass
I
to do
appreciate
whatever
it.
needs to be done, you know what I mean? We
Yeah.
knew that from the bottom, I mean,
like
we knew
you
that.
from the get, man.
And that's why I said, these people have to be really, really shady to have someone like him as much as he went after them to get what he
Just
needed
to ask
in
for-
time, yes.
Right.
To what you needed to get it in time, and nothing like that. That just shows you. I mean, honestly, they just didn't care, and they can't want to sell that house too bad if they're not even going to get the buyers anything that they want or need.
I really appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
It makes me feel great, because no matter what, tomorrow or the next day when we talk about this, there's a lot of lessons for me to take away from here, and you guys were an organic line of mine, and I don't want to say like a part of me feels like I failed you at all, because I
you
did.
didn't at all.
Well, I did everything up to the point that I believe to be my standard of practice and protocol, but the biggest mistake that I made and my biggest takeaway was I didn't escalate the situation soon enough to her. That was the biggest thing I did, and she was able to jump in, Johnny on the spot. Fantastic.
Well,
Like
you
she's
just
doing
really
the whole
didn't. I
time.
mean, you didn't know them personally. You know what I mean? You've never worked with them. You didn't know how they were. You wasn't expecting someone to be.
No.
When they're a business person, you don't expect someone else like that to be.
The lesson too
unfair
for
person.
the young men there, and for anyone who watches this video, whether you're new getting into the business, whether you're thinking about buying a house, the verbiage that you write into the inspection repair addendum is really important. If we would have written very vague terms of like seller to secure metal roof, okay, if we had just said that, but we specifically asked for a qualified roofing contractor. We specifically
Someone
asked for a
licensed.
receipt
With
for that.
verbiage.
Well, there's not licensing for roofing, but they can be
Right.
professional and they can be
LLC.
qualified. We asked for the written receipt in addition we asked for the written verbiage on that receipt to then further note that the other fascia things that we were asked for,
Mhm.
that there were not any other gaps. So as I read back and underwrite the words that we wrote, it was a pretty good and solid description of,
Mhm.
hey, we're the buyers, this is what we're asking for you to do as the sellers, and that they failed. They did
Mhm.
not give the performative action that they contractually agreed upon.
And there's something that we didn't even mention here, that we requested an HVAC clean and service. With the verbiage, HVAC is in good operational condition.
Right.
Yeah.
It was not working
Right.
today, so.
I think they were just gonna see how far they could get without having to do every single thing on there, and just think they want the house, they're gonna get, you know,
Right.
and I don't know, they just didn't care, but I feel like they were just gonna try to see how far
Mhm.
that they could go before.
On top of that, then after they walked out, and then the response of like, well, we did get it to another roofer and they could do this over the weekend and have it done for $800. My response to that is the buyers have signed the release. Please have the sellers sign the release. And that was something that was, I mean, I think I got a like emoji or something like that. And so now we've left a voicemail as follow-up. I have a response in the text thread asking for the follow-up of like, when will we get that back signed? So, holy smokes, what an exciting day in not the best way.
But we
Yeah.
found
But
another
we found
house.
another house.
Yes,
But
we
we
did,
found
that's
another
the,
house.
Oh,
that's the
God,
good thing, at
look
least we found something else.
Well, I mean, am I wrong to say let's not celebrate yet? We don't
We're
have
not
an accepted
celebrating.
contract.
Well, I did, I guess, kind of celebrate, but
Yeah,
we found a really great house
Progress.
That we like enough to offer on.
that we
Yeah.
liked enough to offer on.
That's a step.
am I wrong to say that the market has also shifted the last 30 days?
Mhm. A
Where
little bit to
the
the
buy-
buyer's favor.
a little bit to the buyer's favor. So,
Oh, wow.
you know, that is something else to think about.
Yeah, and it's sad because the whole time, usually you can just tell when I'm really excited, like just anything. But this whole time I was afraid to get excited.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's scary,
We
but I
wouldn't
mean,
tell anybody we're getting a new
I
house
wouldn't
'cause
say
he's afraid of-
anything
it.
because,
We're gonna
and I
get-
don't know if it's just feelings I had on this, and I guess it's just because we needed so much done, and then we had already gone through the first house,
Yeah.
you know, and then this house, and then the stuff we needed done, and just, I don't know if I just felt, I think I just felt like I was gonna jinx myself if I got excited. So I literally told like 2 people,
That's great.
and I could not like get excited at all. Like, I don't know, and it sucks, cause you know, you're buying a house, that's
Mhm.
exciting, you know?
It's supposed to be, I mean,
Yeah,
huge.
a really big time, yeah,
Especially,
and
first time.
yeah, I just felt like I couldn't even get excited, and because my cousin, she's when I told she'd be calling, she's like, "Are you excited? Are you excited? Today's the day," and I'm literally don't have no excitement.
Well, maybe that was your subconscious just trying to protect you. Maybe you
It
somehow
could,
knew
yeah,
that maybe
I mean-
something was gonna be messed up, cause you said you went to those other times and you're like, well, it looks like they're doing what they had to do for,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean that's all I
appraisal.
saw, and I think that's why I just wasn't getting, because I was so afraid that we were gonna come to the closing, and I'm taking pictures of the same exact thing that's getting done 2 weeks apart, and everything else was not done. So I think that's why I couldn't get excited.
yeah.
It's like I didn't want to let myself down, but
That's sad.
I mean, I guess everything happens for a reason. That's all. So
Yeah, think about how, I think I said this earlier, so sorry I'm saying it twice, but think about if this was gonna be a problem on the front side and all the work had just been done, like what would it be like in 6 months?
Yeah,
right.
Like what,
tearing it
Yeah,
down, building it.
maybe they did everything right, but how are we supposed to?
Right.
And if the model of behavior is how they just handled this,
Mhm.
how can you make a different expectation for how they would have handled something else?
Right.
Right. I mean, there's no trust there. Like, I don't believe anything they say.
Right.
Ever since I've gone down there, nothing that they said they've done was done. I mean, there's no trust whatsoever. So if we, like we had to wait for even though we felt like I felt like the HVAC guy, he wasn't them, would have done what he said Tuesday, but all the other things, I mean, I had no trust for those people if they was gonna do it or not.
Right.
Anything that was after the fact, I don't think they would have done anything.
Yeah.
And especially after today, if we would have said yes, I
Mhm.
don't think they would have done anything for us.
Well, I don't know that one way or
Right.
another, and ultimately, I will say, as the other agent was walking out the door, I was like, we're trying to come to a resolution. I was, I'm like, are you really leaving? So, and that's never happened to me, like, ever.
I know, that's why I told him, I can't believe they just left. I mean, they're selling a house. We were buying it. We never
Right.
said, no, we're not
I
buying
heard-
it.
Were
I
you
heard
like-
from
were-
the builder,
But-
the roofer told me everything.
Were you guys like in the car and just
Yeah,
like,
we were just sitting in the car.
We
and
were in the
then
car
I was waiting on
waiting.
you to call me, and he called me. I didn't know he was on that. You guys were already having that conversation.
Yeah, because he's calling Jerry trying to make
Jerry,
sure you got what you
no.
needed.
Yeah.
And then
Donnie.
he's not answering, so we're kind of flipping out. And then here he calls and then tells us he was with you.
And then
Yeah.
you called
And
and
then
tell
you
me.
called
I said,
and
I already
said-
know.
And
I
that's what,
told you I already knew.
Yeah.
Hey, like I knew
I was
before
like,
you told
so-
me.
I'm on the phone with the roofer. Like, this is, he's saying it's a $9,800 problem. What I would have loved,
He actually
would have
dropped the
gotten,
price
like-
too by about 4,000.
yeah, because
from what he told
originally
me.
he said it was about like 11,000 something.
Almost
He's like,
12.
oh, well,
Yeah.
wait, I had different calculations because we could use these materials or whatever,
Right.
whatever. And really,
Professionalism, that's what he had. Same with
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But them,
but they could have said, well, we'll split it with you.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I
They could
mean,
have said,
they
well,
didn't give us a chance to answer
I thought you
anything. I
talked
mean, we
to
were there
someone
to buy a
was that
house.
The realtor
Mhm.
that they'll pay.
And they were there to
they'll
sell
pay
one,
up to
and-
5,000 or whatever.
No, I
they
didn't even
said.
get a chance to do that because the two sellers said, I don't remember the exact words, but like, we're not
We're gonna
doing
walk,
that.
yeah.
No, I
And he
thought about
said-
that at the house when you were at the house talking to somebody. Somebody said that they would pay.
No, the realtor said
It was the realtor that
they would basically, it's okay. They had already talked about it. It would be okay unless they give us a total of like 5,000
Yeah,
or
Right,
so.
right,
remember
right,
that?
right.
Like it couldn't
That's
be
what set the
over,
ball
you know,
rolling.
5,000 was gonna be like a $50,000 job, you know, but,
Right.
so don't say anything over 5,000 basically.
Yeah.
Well, but in the conversation too, I was like, well, the cost for the resolution of the problem is not the issue. The
No.
problem is that it wasn't done right.
Right.
So whether we figure it out and we
Mhm.
close today, or whether we don't close today and you sell it to somebody else,
Mhm.
the problem's still there.
Mhm.
So
Right.
if it's still gonna be a problem, it'll be a problem for anybody. And that was actually agreed upon, like the
Yeah.
listing agent said,
Yeah.
Yes.
and said yes. Was that?
Yeah,
were we
he
on
was,
this?
yeah, we were all in the
Oh, we
bedroom,
were
yeah.
all, yeah.
We all
That's what
heard
he kept
that.
saying, going on and on how
Yeah.
they knew. Yeah, I know.
That's
I
what
talked to
set the
them last
ball
night
rolling.
about it. I did, you know, total acceptance of everything.
That's
Just
why
get
I
me over
called-
this, send me the video, send me this, and everything was okay. And then he made the comment about, well, it'll be fine. They'll be fine with it as long as it's not like $5,000 or something.
Yeah.
Like, how do you know how much it's going to cost?
Right.
And why would he say that if they didn't know something was wrong? You know, I don't
Right.
know. It all kind of, but he knew. Like, oh, I talked to them last night. You know, they were okay. And then this happens. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know.
glad
So-
we didn't get that house.
Yeah, I am too.
I am too.
The best thing for that house that I see was a groundhog in the backyard. And the empty lot on the right.
And I saw it in the front yard when I went down the next time. It
Oh,
was a big old thing. I was like, oh, I got a new
Big
pet.
old groundhog.
like a Punxsutawney Phil.
Yeah, it was a
It's
big
a
old
big-
groundhog.
big
It was so
one.
cute. I was like, oh, I got a new pet.
You'd be able to put like little,
I've been able to
Cabbage
feed
out
it and
for 'em or
everything. Yeah,
something.
yeah, I've been able
That's
to
Me and
feed
the
it.
inspector was looking at him when we got there the first time.
Really?
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
yeah.
Well,
It's okay. It's okay.
okay, so now at this point, we're just waiting. So we need to get that released now. The closing date was set for today, right?
Yep.
So really, the contract.
well, actually, if we wanna talk nuts and bolts, the closing date was yesterday. I never received back a fully executed closing date change to the 30th.
Okay, so let's talk about the detail on what happens if we don't get the release back. I will call the broker. I actually don't know if I've ever been in this exact same situation where technically we do not even have a contract with them anymore. So dealing with then release of earnest money and how that's performed and how, whatever the documentation hoops that we have to jump through in order to get your earnest money back and returned to you, I'll find out from our broker.
Okay.
Because I can't, if I had been in this before, I would tell you exactly how we do that. I just haven't quite been exactly here.
We're all learning today.
We're all learning.
Learn
It's a
something new every day.
practice. It's a practice, it's not a, we all learn
Right.
something every day. Do
Yeah,
you guys have
exactly.
any other questions at this point?
I don't think so. So we're just waiting, well, on that, but as far as the house, we're just waiting. We sent the
Yeah,
offer, so
we
we're
sent
just
there
waiting
and
for
we have
that.
until 10 o'clock for that.
No,
Okay.
about the inspection.
Oh, inspection.
Oh, yeah, we have to
Yeah, so you'll
call
have,
Jimbo. Is that who?
No names. But
Oh.
no
Sorry.
names, no
It's
names.
good.
Well,
Oh.
yeah, well, we